Back now to our top story, where Metro Police in Durban have confirmed that an off-duty officer was present during a mass shooting near the CBD, near the High Court in Kwazulu Natal in Durban. The death toll has since been revised down to 3, with 5 people injured. Let's go back to the scene with ENCA's Dasan Tathia, who is there. So, Dasan, I see behind you the KZN Medical Legal Mortuary. It becomes real, and I suppose it attests to the tragic events that took place. What are police telling you at this particular point in as far as the events leading up to the death of these 3 people?
Tulas, I swear you're a mind reader, because while I was waiting to chat to you, I had exactly that thought. And I said, you know, when you look at that van at any crime scene, really, that's when reality sets in and you realize that all of these things that you've been hearing about, both for us as the media, but also for those bystanders, neighbors, friends and family, they realize that unfortunately it is true. And in this case, 3 people dying inside this building that I'm standing outside of at the moment. One of those people, as we understand it, is a Metro policeman. As to what his role was in the shooting, that's something that we can't get from either the Metro Police or the SAPS. We did speak to Colonel Tembeka Mbele from the SAPS as well, and what she has said in a nutshell is that this investigation is still very much in its early stages. But Tulas, I have with me Saron Meadows. She works for Rescue Care. Now, that was one of the services that was here first when this incident was reported. Saron, we haven't obviously had access to what is now a crime scene, but you were inside there, and we had a conversation off camera a little while ago, just talking about some of the things that you saw inside that flat. Just take me through some of that.
To be quite honest, it was nothing that we expected. We got called out for a multiple shooting case. We arrived at the scene just expecting a few people with some gunshots. We arrived on an absolute mass casualty bloodbath scene. There were patients everywhere. There were people injured. There was people screaming, as well as the deceased that were inside the flat that we needed to declare. It really wasn't a nice scene. It was completely emotional for a lot of family members and friends that were around to see it. Yeah, it was an extremely hectic case.
Saron, there was some confusion over the numbers. We were getting different reports, and I guess that's understandable because we were here at the scene quite early today. It was quite fresh. Paramedics were still here, police were still on the scene, and those numbers were changing. Just for clarity, from someone that was inside, just take me through those that were injured, the sex, if you can remember, of the deceased, and just give me some detail in that respect.
There is clarity now. Initially, it was absolute chaos. There was too many people running around. A lot of people were saying retreating all over. There was a lot of medics on scene. But right now, we've got clarity. It's 3 deceased. Two of them are males. 1 of them is a female, and 5 of them are still lying in hospital. 1 of them is critical. 3 of them has sustained sort of serious injuries, and then the other one is just got minor to moderate injuries.
When you got here, were those 3, the current deceased, had they already passed on?
Yes, unfortunately. Their injuries were, they had took them to their death due to the extent of their injuries. They had multiple gunshots in their bodies.
I know that this is a bit of dangerous territory because, as I mentioned, there is still an investigation unfolding. Just from what you saw, is there any indication as to why this would have happened or what went wrong in that room today?
There's many allegations that have been going around on the scene currently, but it's out of my hands completely. This is an SAPS and Metro investigation matter. There are multiple detectives, colonels, captains, everybody that are around on the scene, and we don't do the investigation from there. Our job is to treat the injured, get them through to hospital, and stabilize them as much as possible. It is really unknown at this stage to us what transpired here today.
Those in hospital, just lastly, Saron, are they doing okay? Are they stable?
There is 1 that is really critical. The others seem to be stable for now, and we'll wait for further updates on them.
Thank you very much. Tulas, that was Saron Meadows here from Rescue Care. She was inside that flat when they responded to deal with this, what she has called a bloodbath, also telling me it is one of the worst that they've seen. So, Tulas, she used the word as well, speculation. That is what's going on, that's what's going around quite a bit. There are lots of people still gathered here along the pavements, and although I'm by no means any type of firearm expert, we did see police leaving with a firearm that looked a lot like a Glock, and also that looked a lot like that which is issued to police. But again, we will wait until we get official word to find out which guns were used and exactly what the role of that off-duty, and I must stress that off-duty Metro policeman was in this shooting.
Sure, Justin, just before I let you go, what's the building behind you where this incident took place? Is it residential, and how does it relate to, is it related at all to the location being not far from the KZN High Court in Durban?
It's not necessarily related to us. It's just a proximity, really, that, and that's why we've been referencing the High Court. But the other interesting thing about this building, which, to answer your question, is actually a block of flats. It's also not very far from the Broad Street police station, and that, as I'm talking to you, is just directly to my left. So this is the alleyway that's behind that police station, which is also, I think it just makes this entire ordeal and this tragedy really that much more unbelievable. Because one of the other things that's going on, one of the other bits of information that's going around here, and just talking to those people that were on scene, including the police officers, what they're saying unofficially is that at the time that this shooting happened, there wasn't an immediate report that was released. In fact, it was some time had passed before police had been called in to respond, and also that's when paramedics had come through and made that gruesome discovery.
All right, thank you so much for that update. That's ENCA's Dasan Tatia tracking that story there, that breaking news story out in Durban where there's been a shooting in the CBD.